There is a good chance you have been hearing bits and pieces about Social Security changes, Medicare costs, tax rules, and payment dates, and it can all feel like a puzzle with pieces that do not quite fit. If your benefits already feel tight, the idea that December changes could raise one number only to lower another is stressful. I understand that feeling, and you are not alone. December is not just another month on the calendar. It is the month that sets the tone for your 2026 benefit amount, your health insurance costs, and even how much tax you might owe in April. If you have ever opened your bank statement and wondered, why is my check smaller this month? This is exactly the kind of explanation that can help you feel clear and prepared. Before we go deeper, I want to ask you a simple, honest question, just between you and me. Do you feel like your Social Security check stretches far enough each month, or do you wish it could go just a bit further? Many people feel the same way, and talking through the rules calmly and clearly can take away a lot of the worry. Let us walk through this step by step so you know what to expect, what to watch for, and how to protect what you have earned. December matters because it quietly adjusts important dials that affect your monthly budget in the year ahead. The truth is that these rules overlap, and that is where confusion shows up. One change might give you a boost, while another pulls some of it back. There is a new cost of living increase. Medicare Part B premiums are expected to rise. There is a new tax deduction for older adults, which sounds great, but it has side effects on the larger Social Security picture. States have their own tax rules that can reduce or increase what you actually keep. And on top of that, if you are still working or thinking about part-time work, earning too much can temporarily reduce your monthly Social Security payments until you reach full retirement age. None of this is meant to scare you. My goal is to explain how the pieces fit together so you can plan ahead and keep more of what you are owed. Let us start with the cost of living adjustment, often called the cost of living adjustment, or COLA for short. For 2026, the cost of living adjustment is 2.8%. This was announced in late October. On average, that raises the typical retirement benefit from around $2,015 to about $2,071 per month, which works out to roughly $56 more each month. $56 may not change your life, but it can help with a couple of bags of groceries, a cell phone bill, some gas, or a copay. If you receive Supplemental Security Income, which is the Disability and Low-Income Benefit Program often called Supplemental Security Income, or SSI, your updated amount arrives on December 31. That may feel early, but it is the way the payment schedule falls when January begins on certain days of the week. It is not a bonus or an extra payment. It is simply the January amount paid at the end of December because of the calendar. Now, there is something many people notice, and you might have felt this yourself. Even with a raise, it does not always feel like your buying power increases. There is a reason. Social Security calculates the cost of living adjustment using the Consumer Price Index for urban wage earners and clerical workers, called the CPIW. That index tracks living costs for workers, not retirees. Workers and retirees do not spend in the same way. Retirees typically spend a larger share on healthcare and housing. Those costs often rise faster than general inflation. That means the cost of living increase can lag behind your actual expenses. In one recent survey, more than 3 out of 4 older adults said even a 3% raise would not catch up with rising prices. If you feel that at the grocery store, at the pharmacy, or when you open your utility bill, you are not imagining it. The raise helps, but it does not fix everything. This is where Medicare enters the picture, and it is the part that often causes that "now you see it, now you do not" feeling on payday. Medicare Part B premiums are expected to rise to about $206.50 per month in 2026. That is up from $185, which is about a $21 increase. For many of you, that premium is taken directly out of your Social Security check before the deposit lands in your account. So on one side, you may see about $56 more from the cost of living adjustment. On the other side, about $21 may be pulled back to pay for Medicare Part B. It can feel like someone hands you money with one hand and takes a slice back with the other. That tug-of-war is not in your head. It is built into how the systems interact. Healthcare costs tend to rise faster than benefits, which is why even careful planners can feel like they are running in place. If that sounds familiar, give yourself grace. You are doing your best in a system that moves a lot of knobs at once. Taxes are the next piece, and there is a new element beginning with your 2026 taxes that is worth your attention. There is a new additional tax deduction for older adults. If you are age 65 or older, you can claim an extra $6,000 deduction, and married couples can claim up to $12,000. You do not need to itemize your deductions to use it. You can take it even if you use the standard deduction. That is a significant tax break for many households and one of the larger benefits older adults have seen in years. Some economists estimate that this change will increase the number of older adults who owe zero federal taxes on their Social Security benefits from about 64% to about 88%. That means more people will keep more of their monthly Social Security because their federal tax bill is lower. It is fair to ask how that interacts with the bigger Social Security picture. Here is the honest answer. That deduction also reduces federal tax revenue. Because part of Social Security is supported by federal taxes, the Social Security Trust Fund feels that reduction. The Social Security Administration, which I will shorten to the SSA from here on, estimates that this deduction by itself could move the trust fund toward depletion about 6 months sooner. It is not something that hurts you this year, and it does not take money out of your check today. But it adds pressure in the long run, which is one reason you hear about trust fund projections. People often ask whether taxes on Social Security will go away completely. There is a bill called the You Earned It, You Keep It Act that would end all federal taxes on Social Security benefits, starting with tax returns filed in 2027. But that plan depends on raising the payroll tax cap. Right now, only the first $184,500 of wages are taxed for Social Security. Earnings above that amount are not. Raising that cap is how the proposal would cover the revenue that would be lost if benefit taxes ended. A lot of retirees like the idea of ending taxes on benefits. In Congress, there is debate. Some argue the system needs that revenue to stay stable. Others argue older adults deserve a break now and higher earners can contribute more. This conversation is ongoing, and December 2025 sits right in the middle of that debate. Nothing is final yet, which is why it is smart to plan based on rules that are already in place while keeping an eye on what might change. Federal rules are only part of the story. Where you live matters, because some states still tax Social Security benefits. 9 states still tax Social Security, including Minnesota, Colorado, and New Mexico. The trend, however, is shifting. West Virginia is removing its tax completely by 2026. Utah offers credits that help lower-income older adults offset the state tax. The takeaway is simple. Your neighbor in a different state could take home more from the same federal benefit just because of state tax laws. If money is tight, it is worth checking how your state treats Social Security so that you are not caught off guard in April. Let us talk about earning limits, because every December I hear from people who are trying to pick up part-time work or keep a small business going and worry that one extra shift will make their Social Security vanish. The rules can feel harsh at first glance, but once you see how they work over time, they make more sense. In 2026, if you are receiving Social Security before your full retirement age, the annual earnings limit is $24,480. You can earn up to that amount without having any of your Social Security withheld. If you earn more than that limit, the SSA withholds $1 in benefits for every $2 you earn above the limit. This does not mean your benefit is gone forever. In the year you reach your full retirement age, the limit increases to $65,160, and the withholding becomes $1 for every $3 you earn above that higher limit. After you actually reach your full retirement age, the earnings limit disappears completely. You can earn as much as you want. The SSA will then recalculate your benefit and give you credit for months when benefits were withheld earlier. In plain language, if you start early and earn more than the limit, you might get smaller checks for a while. But once you reach full retirement age, the SSA adjusts your benefit upward to reflect those withholdings. It is not a penalty that erases your money. It is a delay. I know delayed money is not the same as money in hand today, but I want you to have the full picture so you can make choices with steady information instead of fear. If you receive Social Security Disability Insurance, often called SNAP, there is also a small earnings adjustment that matters if you are testing the waters with part-time work. The monthly earnings limit rises to $1,690, or $2,830 if you are blind. Knowing those amounts can help you decide whether to take on some extra hours without risking a suspension of benefits. If work is part of your plan, write those numbers down and keep them in a visible place. The last thing you want is a surprise letter because you crossed a line you did not know was there. December is also a powerful month for something that many people dislike but that gives you real peace of mind: updating your budget. I know the word budget can feel heavy, like punishment or restriction. That is not how I see it. A simple end-of-year review is like drawing a map for yourself so you do not walk in the dark. Prices for utilities, groceries, and auto insurance have cooled off from the peak but have not returned to where they were a few years ago. If you write down your regular monthly costs, compare your new benefit amount, and set aside a small cushion for the Medicare premium increase, you will feel the stress drop even before the money comes in. You are telling your money where to go instead of wondering where it went. If you have not reviewed your Medicare plan, you still have time during the annual open enrollment period, which runs through December 7. A quick plan review can save you $20 to $50 a month, sometimes more, without reducing your coverage. People often skip this step because the mailers are confusing and the options look endless. But the savings can be real. If it feels overwhelming, you can talk to a licensed Medicare advisor or a trusted counselor who compares every plan in your area based on your doctors and prescriptions. Many people discover they can save around $1,100 a year by switching to a plan that better fits their needs. Whether you do it yourself or with help, a 1-hour review can put money back in your pocket for the entire year. While you are in the mood to get organized, consider creating or logging into your online account with the Social Security Administration, often called a My Social Security account. If you register by November 19, you will get your exact 2026 benefit amount early, viewable online. Otherwise, you will receive a paper letter in December. Paper mail works, but sometimes letters arrive late or get misplaced. Having online access means you can check your payment amount, verify your deposit date, see your Medicare premium deduction, and confirm that your address and bank information are correct. A few minutes today can prevent a lot of anxiety next month. Thinking ahead to taxes, if you suspect you might owe federal taxes on your Social Security next year, you can ask the Social Security Administration to withhold a small percentage from each monthly payment. That way, you do not face a big surprise bill in April. It is optional. For some people, withholding 5, 10, or 12% each month is easier than writing a single check in the spring. If you prefer handling it yourself, you can do that too. The key is to choose on purpose rather than being surprised later. I want to zoom out for a moment because the reason all of this matters is bigger than any single rule. Social Security is a lifeline. That is not drama. It is fact. For many people over 65, Social Security provides at least half of their income. For millions, it is nearly all of their income. On average, women rely on it more than men. That means even small changes can be felt right away in the real world, at the pharmacy, at the grocery store, or when a utility bill climbs in winter. When you understand what is changing, you reduce the risk of unexpected shortfalls and increase the chance that your money will be enough when you need it. You might also be hearing discussions about the future of the Social Security Trust Fund. Current projections suggest the trust fund could reach depletion around 2032 if no changes are made. That does not mean Social Security disappears. It means that if Congress does not act, benefits could be reduced by about 20%. Lawmakers are debating possible fixes, such as raising the full retirement age, lifting the wage cap so more earnings are taxed for Social Security, or adjusting benefits. None of those ideas are final. They are proposals. What you can do today is stay informed about the rules that already apply to you, claim what you are eligible for, and avoid mistakes that could interrupt your payments. A simple example shows how all these pieces might look in real life. Imagine your current Social Security retirement benefit is around $2,015 per month. With the 2.8% cost of living adjustment for 2026, it becomes about $2,071. That is a $56 increase. If your Medicare Part B premium rises from $185 to about $206.50, that is roughly $21 more taken out of your Social Security check. Your net increase feels closer to $35. Now imagine you live in a state that taxes Social Security benefits. Your state tax might take a small bite as well, depending on your income and how your state applies the tax. But if you qualify for the new $6,000 senior deduction on your 2026 federal taxes, your federal tax bill could go down, possibly enough to offset some of the other increases. If you also review your Medicare plan during open enrollment and find a plan that saves you $20 to $50 a month without reducing your care, that savings is like a second raise. Add one more step. Log in to your My Social Security account to confirm your payment and check your Medicare deduction so the numbers you are expecting match what actually lands in your bank. That is how you turn a handful of complicated changes into a clear plan that protects your monthly finances. If you are still working before your full retirement age, here is how the earnings limit could play out. Suppose you plan to earn $25,000 next year. The 2026 limit is $24,480. You are $520 over the limit. The Social Security Administration will withhold $1 for every $2 above the limit, which is $260 of withholding for the year. Your monthly benefit may be reduced for a couple of months until that amount is accounted for. In the year you reach full retirement age, the limit jumps to $65,160 with a softer withholding of $1 for every $3 above that. Once you reach your full retirement age, there is no earnings limit. And, just as important, the Social Security Administration recalculates and gives you credit for months when benefits were withheld. Understanding that the withheld amount is not gone forever can help you make calm decisions about work and income without unnecessary fear. For those receiving Social Security disability insurance, the new monthly earnings thresholds matter. If you are not blind, the limit rises to $1,690 per month. If you are blind, the limit is $2,830. If you are thinking about testing part-time work, keep a simple log of your monthly earnings and check your numbers mid-month rather than waiting until the end. If you see yourself getting close, you can pull back hours before accidentally crossing the line. The goal is to align your work plans with the protection your benefits provide instead of one undermining the other. Behind all these details are a few practical steps that make December work for you, not against you. Put soft edges around your budget for the coming months so your new benefit amount and your Medicare premium are baked into your plan. Use the open enrollment window to check your Medicare plan, even if you are happy with it. Plans change their drug lists and networks. A quick review can keep your doctors and medications covered while lowering costs. Consider creating or updating your My Social Security account so you can see your exact 2026 benefit online and catch any issues early. If you had to wait for a paper letter, you might lose valuable weeks if there is a mistake in your address or a deposit goes astray. And if you expect to owe taxes on your Social Security, think about voluntary withholding through the Social Security Administration so April does not bring an unwelcome surprise. None of these steps require you to be tech-savvy. You can do them with a friend or family member you trust, or you can call the relevant agency and ask for help. The point is to take small steps now to avoid big headaches later. Here is what all of this adds up to. Social Security's 2.8% cost of living adjustment gives you about $56 more on average. And supplemental security income updates arrive on December 31 because of the calendar. Medicare Part B premiums are expected to rise by about $21 a month, usually deducted directly from your Social Security deposit. A new federal tax deduction for adults 65 and older, $6,000 for individuals, and up to $12,000 for married couples starts with your 2026 taxes and can reduce or even erase federal taxes on your benefits for many people. Some states still tax Social Security, though a few are easing those rules or offering credits, so your state matters. If you work before your full retirement age, the 2026 earnings limit is $24,480, with withholding if you go over. But those withholdings are not lost forever. In the year you reach full retirement age, the limit is $65,160, and after you reach your full retirement age, there is no earnings limit. For Social Security disability insurance, the monthly earnings limits rise to $1,690 or $2,830 if you are blind. Create or log into your online Social Security account by November 19 to see your exact 2026 benefit early. Review your Medicare plan by December 7 because many people find savings of $20 to $50 a month and some save around $1,100 a year with the right plan. And if you might owe taxes, voluntary withholding can smooth things out. With these steps laid out, you are walking into the new year prepared instead of worried. There are a few simple lessons I hope you will carry with you. First, the numbers that shape your monthly check are connected. A raise from the cost of living adjustment, a rise in Medicare premiums, a new tax deduction, and state rules all interact. If you only look at one, you may misread the whole picture. Second, the cost of living adjustment is calculated using an index designed for workers, not retirees. That is why your personal inflation, especially for healthcare and housing, can feel higher than what the official adjustment covers. There is nothing wrong with your math. You are noticing a real gap. Third, the earnings test for early claimers is not a permanent penalty. It is a temporary withholding that gets reconciled when you reach full retirement age. That opens space to consider part-time work without fear that your benefits vanish forever. Fourth, the new senior deduction for 2026 taxes is meaningful. It could move many households from owing federal taxes on their Social Security to owing nothing at all. Use it. Fifth, where you live matters. State taxes and available credits or exemptions can change the take-home value of your benefits. So take a look at your state's rules rather than relying on what a friend in another state experienced. And finally, the most important lesson is that small, timely actions beat big worries. Checking your Medicare plan, logging in to your Social Security account, and choosing whether to withhold taxes are small tasks that remove big uncertainties. I also want to leave you with a message that goes beyond rules and timelines. You have earned these benefits through years of work and contributions. You are not asking for a favor. You are using what the law provides so you can live with dignity and security. It is normal to feel uneasy when you hear about trust fund projections or proposals in Congress. But you do not have to live in that fear. You can focus on what is in your control today, and that is where your power lives. Make this December the month you get your paperwork in order, review your plan choices, and write down your numbers. If your check has felt stretched, you are not failing. You are managing in a time when costs shifted quickly. Give yourself credit for caring enough to learn the rules. Let that confidence carry you into the new year. If someone you care about is also worried, share what you have learned. Sometimes the most helpful gift is a little clarity. If this helped you feel more prepared, here's what I suggest you do next. Set aside one quiet hour this week to write down your expected 2026 Social Security amount, check your Medicare Part B premium, review your Medicare plan if you have not already, and decide whether to set up tax withholding through the Social Security Administration. Log into or create your My Social Security account so you can confirm your benefit online. If you have questions about state taxes, call your state revenue department or a local tax counselor who works with older adults. And take a breath. You are doing the right things. If you found this video useful, please like, share, and subscribe so you and others can stay informed about the changes that affect your benefits and monthly budget. Your support helps more people get clear, trustworthy explanations without the noise. This video is for general information and education. It is not financial, tax, or legal advice. Everyone's situation is different. For guidance on your specific case, contact the Social Security Administration, Medicare, your state agency, or a qualified professional who can review your individual details.